Hello friends, welcome to the second episode of Cooking with me. Today we will be making tofu, and I decided to make tofu because it's one of my favorite recipes. It's actually my favorite probably, and I don't like that there is a huge misconception about tofu. Most of the people who never tried it, or even people who tried it, think it's not tasty and it cannot be done nicely. And I had the same opinion in the beginning when I tried, because many people don't know how to make it. But it's all about seasoning, all about the way you make it, and I'm gonna show you easy way, quick way how to make it very tasty, crunchy and soft inside. Let's do it. Ty kokot, prvi take, jak boss. So let me show you the ingredients. Of course, you're gonna need tofu, you're gonna need salt, pepper, paprika powder, soy sauce, and Alright, let me show you the ingredients. So of course you're gonna need tofu, and for seasoning the tofu we will need salt, pepper, paprika powder, soy sauce, and nutritional yeast. For frying the tofu we will need oil. I'm using grapeseed oil. It's a high temperature cooking oil. If you use maybe coconut oil or any high temperature cooking oil, I would not recommend olive oil. For the bowl, the base, we will use white rice. You can use any rice. And right now I'm using whatever I have at home. I'm gonna put avocado, fresh tomatoes, and I have only frozen peas and frozen corn. I'm gonna just boil them in the water for a bit until they are soft. You can use fresh ones if you want, if you have, or you can use cucumber, whatever you feel like putting on top. It's gonna be a nice fresh poke bowl. And let's go back to the tofu. You're gonna want to have tofu as firm as possible. So this one is quite firm. It's already quite pressed. I like this one. It's actually the cheapest I could get. But if you can get any firm tofu, some of them are still quite soft, full of water. What you want to do is press them. So how we will press them? We are about to use a kitchen towel. We are about to use kitchen towel. You want to wrap the tofu into the kitchen towel, like this. Put something with even surface on top of it. And I'm using weights, just 1 kilo weights. Try to make them as even as possible. And just leave it there for, let's say, 20-30 minutes. You will see how much it's pressing. The towel is going to get wet. It's going to get really wet, soaked with water. That's when you know the tofu is already being pressed and the water is extracted from the tofu. Now what you have to be careful, what happened to me, when it's slowly pressing and you have some weights, and if it's not too even, sometimes it starts tilting on the side. So you just want to check the tofu every couple of minutes if it's still even surface pressing it. Once the tofu is nicely pressed, you can start cutting it into pieces, and make sure the pieces are somehow even, because you want them to be all fried the same way. So I'm cutting them, slicing them into something that it's shaped.
Rectangle.
Rectangle. I am making rectangles out of them, but you can make cubes, you can make any shapes you want. Just make sure they are all even. Good. Then you distribute them on a plate or on a cutting board, and you season them. First you season them with salt, then we add a little bit of pepper and paprika powder, then you turn them around, and then you again I actually do only pepper and paprika powder from the other side, because there is already lots of salt involved, because we will be adding soy sauce as well. And once it's seasoned, it's basically ready to be fried. using my hands to place the tofu in there. But be careful, because if the oil is really hot, it can splash and burn you. Trying to keep a little bit distance from each other so they don't stick together. Now we just let them fry. Now while the tofu is being fried, we will prepare the rest of the ingredients. We need to cook the rice, chop the tomatoes, chop the avocado, and just boil the frozen peas and corn. I'm using chopsticks to turn the tofu around. I'm just checking now if it's already ready, and not yet. What I'm looking for is golden color and a little bit of crispiness. So it's not ready yet, so we still wait. It can take up to 10-15 minutes. Also, for all you tofu haters, soy haters, I know many of you think, and still there is big misconception about tofu and soy, that it has lots of estrogen, that it's not very healthy for you, which is big bullshit. It's kind of a propaganda, because the estrogen that's in the soy and in the tofu is actually plant estrogen, phytoestrogen, that has very, very small effect on the human body, on any animal. And it's actually quite the opposite, because this phytoestrogen, and it's actually quite the opposite, because this phytoestrogen actually blocks the effects of real estrogen, of the animal estrogen. So if anything, it's just healthier to eat more soy. Of course, when it comes to GMO soy, see, now we've been constantly checking every couple of minutes the tofu, and it's ready. See, I turn it around, I try to tap it, and it's a bit hard. So that's the moment when I start turning them around. I was trying before turning them around with fork or anything else, but for me what works the best is actually chopsticks, because it's easier to get them individually. Now we slowly turn them all around. Good, and we give it 3 more minutes. You will see the other side will get fried, I think, a little bit quicker than the first side. So depending on how you cut the tofu, me personally now I'm frying it only from 2 sides, as you can see, because it's still getting nicely fried. But for example, look at this piece. This one is still kind of raw inside, so I can fry it from all 4 sides. But usually I cut it a little bit more flat, and then it's enough to fry it only from 2 sides. Okay, now we checked. The tofu is nicely fried from both sides, nice and golden, and you can again tap. Both sides are a little bit hard. This is where the moment of truth comes, where my little trick comes in. You take nutritional yeast, you sprinkle it on top of all the pieces, try to make it even. That's it. And you take the soy sauce and be ready for getting lots of smoke. Take the soy sauce and you just pour it. Fuck, I forgot to open the soy sauce. Classic. You take the open soy sauce and you start sprinkling over the top of it. Yeah. As I said, be ready for lots of smoke. That's it. Nice. And right now you be very careful, because it burns really quickly. So you check, make sure it doesn't burn into black color. You leave it maybe 30 seconds, 1 minute more. Keep checking it again. And it's ready to get out of the pan. I prepared a plate with paper kitchen towels, and it's going to soak up all the oil, so we'll just remove them one by one. We already turned down the heat, turned off the heat, and we just slowly remove them all. And voila, the tofu is ready. And you keep it like this for a couple of minutes, even 10-15 minutes. Even when it gets cold, it's very tasty, and the longer you keep it, the more crunchy from outside, the more soft from inside it is. So this is the test of crunchiness. You can literally hear it. And open it and see how nice and soft it is inside, and yet crunchy outside. Kosztuj. What do you think? Now that everything is ready, let's arrange the bowl. So I'm gonna add rice on the bottom. Slap it in there. Slappity slap. Good. Now you can season the rice with whatever sauce you like, or you don't have to. I like to season it with vegan mayo. I just put a small layer of vegan mayo and some sriracha on top as well, just for a little kick. Good. And we add the tofu, of course. You can use your artistic skills however you want. Then we add some tomato cut on little pieces, some avocado, and of course the boiled peas and corn. And again, as I said, you can add whatever you feel like, whatever your heart desires. Make it nice and colorful. And that's it. Voila! Your little poke bowl is ready to eat. Ready to eat? Alright, let's taste it. I don't want to brag, but this stuff is delicious. So, for all you tofu not believers, I used to be one of you, but I would compare it to raw meat and seasoned meat. If you eat raw meat, it's not tasty, I guess. If you season it, prepare it correctly, it can be very delicious. Same with tofu. If you do it correctly, it blows your mind. And I had lots of friends saying that it's really delicious. So go try it. Let me know how you like it. And if you have a better way to prepare it, maybe let me know. I'll try your way. So if you like the video, let me know. Maybe subscribe. Maybe subscribe if you got all the way here, and see you in the next one.
Jeszcze raz.
Nie taki kokot. Medytacja je dôležitá pred videom. Alright. Hello friends. Welcome back. Should I say that it's the second episode?
Dobre.
Jak vyzerám? Dobre?
Tak, no, furt.
Let's do it. And then you distribute them and season them with počkej, tu mám vlastne iba povedané, prosím, ale až potom to robiť.
Okay.
Dobre. No a teraz môžeš natočiť, ak ho tu seasonujem, a to bude ten B-roll, ne? Čo sa smieš? Piči. No to už čo? Však môžeme to povedať. Nie, počkaj, však to stále vyzerá dobre. Pozri. No tu pridám jednu viac tofu. Poď sem, natoč to. Počkaj, ešte jedno.
V redu.
Perfect. Finito.